Chapter 1 to 3. Pop. The moment his toe touched the branch, chakra gathered in his legs. The branch barely bent as the boy leaped over 10 meters. In a series of quick movements, the boy passed through the dense forest like a gust of wind. He was young, with a handsome face, wearing black tight-fitting clothes and a green standard-issue vest armor. His thick black hair was tied at the end with a red ribbon, giving him a gentle and calm demeanor. If a stranger saw him, they would definitely notice two distinctive features. Firstly, the metal forehead protector with the Konoha emblem tied to his head. Secondly, those pure white, unblemished eyes. He is a member of the Hyuga clan from Konoha village in the Land of Fire. A powerful shinobi clan, the Hyuga clan has formidable combat abilities stem from their dojutsu, the Byakugan. As a result, the Hyuga clan has always been a force to be reckoned with. 15 kilometers left for us to reach the Land of Fire's border. While running, Yuto Hyuga calculated the distance. Too dangerous. He abruptly halted, stomping heavily on the tree trunk, instantly stopping his high-speed movement. His strong and flexible physique was evident. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 4 figures quickly converged around him, forming a tactical formation with their backs against each other. "What's wrong, Yuto Hyuga? Did you find something?" asked a middle-aged man with short hair and an indifferent expression. Yuto nodded. "Sugura-sama, there are footprints in the forest." A breeze blew through the forest, and the other 3 genin instinctively tightened their grip on their kunai. The team led by Jonin Tetsuro Sugiura consisted of 1 Jonin, 1 Hyuga Chunin, and 3 civilian genin, a surprise reconnaissance team formed during wartime. There were no females in the group. "So is it the enemy?" Tetsuro said, his tone still calm. "Well done, Hyuga. We could avoid the—" He stopped mid-talking and shook his head. "Never mind." Tetsuro drew a kunai, feeling its sharp edge. "If they can block this path, they may have set up ambushes elsewhere too. Let's charge through. After all, we have the Byakugan." The 3 genin sighed in relief, looking at Tetsuro and Yuto with respect. The history of the shinobi world has proven that the Byakugan's reconnaissance abilities are trustworthy. "Yes, Sugiura-sama," Yuto replied respectfully. He brought his index and middle fingers together in front of his nose, forming a seal. Chakra instantly surged to his optic nerves. Veins bulged around his eyes, and his pale blue pupils appeared in the center. His vision changed, extending into a unique 360-degree field, revealing chakra flows, chakra pathways, hidden birds behind trees, and even animals drinking water kilometers away. With the Byakugan's enhanced vision and perception, everything was laid bare. Yuto lowered his hand. While activating the Byakugan only required chakra concentration, Hyuga clan members often used seals to focus their minds, a habit that became a family tradition over time. Seeing that Yuto was ready, Tetsuro took the lead, charging ahead. Yuto followed closely, with the 3 genin forming a semicircle around him as they resumed their journey. This time, they were fully alert. In Yuto's vision, everything turned into shades of black and white, semi-transparent trees moving swiftly backward. He observed his surroundings meticulously, not missing any suspicious signs. Finally, during their rapid movement, a few tiny humanoid strings appeared in Yuto's sight, chakra flowing through chakra pathways. "Found them?" Yuto exhaled, signaling his teammates with a series of hand signs, then sped up to inform Tetsuro. Despite his speed, by the time he relayed the information, they were only 400 meters away from the enemy. Shinobis honed by war possessed superior combat instincts. Though newly formed, Yuto's team displayed commendable synergy, maintaining their speed as if nothing had happened, until Tetsuro, at the forefront, was within 20 meters of the first enemy. 20 meters for a Konoha Jonin was nearly face-to-face. Bang! In a flash, Yuto saw Tetsuro appear directly above the enemy hidden underground. Tetsuro's kunai stabbed into the ground. He released it and stomped hard at it. Screams and blood splattered from below. Using basic body flicker technique, combined with Yuto's precise intel, he instantly eliminated 1 enemy. Yet Tetsuro's assault continued. Ignoring the shouts and sounds of weapons from elsewhere, he calmly formed hand seals. Though using a kunai with his foot was unconventional, the small risk was worth it. freeing his hands to form seals. Ox, monkey, hare, rat, boar, bird, ox, horse, bird, rat. 44 seals were formed flawlessly. Jonin-level chakra surged through specific pathways within his body. At its peak, Tetsuro opened his mouth. Water style, water dragon bullet. Tons of water gushed from his mouth, forming a tree-sized water dragon that crashed to the ground. Rumble. The enemy below was crushed into blood mist. The massive water flow was tearing up the ground, uprooting trees, sweeping away chains, explosive tags, and iron hooks. The traps were obliterated by the powerful water jutsu. Fighting amidst enemy traps was unwise. As an experienced shinobi, Tetsuro immediately altered the battlefield. Yuto and the 3 genin regrouped around Tetsuro, ready to fight. As the water receded and dust cleared, several shinobi emerged from the other side. The Konoha team's hearts sank. There were too many, 6 in plain sight, likely with 3 more hidden. The enemy leader, a tall man, walked forward, tying a Cloud Village forehead protector. After a brief silence, both sides charged. No words exchanged, not even verbal reconnaissance. In Konoha Year 55, under the immense pressure of looming war, constant border skirmishes, and the ever-tense political climate, the string of tension could snap any moment, triggering a shinobi world war. In the forest, Konoha and Cloud Shinobi clashed, with their lives losing instantly. No one mourned. Kunai gleamed coldly, jutsu flashed relentlessly. They stole each other's lives, colder than the steel they wielded. For reasons ample or insufficient, those who gave their lives are shinobis. In the depths of the forest, 3 or 4 shinobi corpses lay scattered. Not far away, Yuto was engaged in close combat with an enemy. The veins around Yuto's eyes bulged as he focused his Byakugan on the enemy, easily detecting the glowing white chakra flowing within the opponent's body. The Kumogakure's shinobi Yuto was fighting was tall and muscular, with powerful limbs. Bang! The Kumo shinobi suddenly threw a punch. Yuto raised his right arm to block, absorbing the massive force. He staggered but remained standing. This kid, the shinobi thought in shock. Kumogakure's shinobis are generally known for their kenjutsu and taijutsu, placing a high value on physical strength. Despite his young age, Yuto's strength was comparable to his much older opponent. The shinobi was momentarily stunned, his thoughts scattered. Even though he maintained a strong fighting stance, the slight disruption in his chakra flow was evident to Yuto's Byakugan. For a shinobi, chakra is the clearest indicator of their physical and mental state. Detecting such a subtle disturbance and exploiting it for an attack requires great skill. Yuto is a master at it. With a powerful leap, Yuto surged forward, his swift movement leaving a small crater in the ground. Already close to his opponent, Yuto's sudden burst of speed closed the distance instantly. The shinobi instinctively jumped back, trying to create space, but his chakra was momentarily out of sync. Yuto seized the opportunity and drove a precise, chakra-infused palm into the enemy's chest. His chakra burst through the shinobi's skin, devastating his internal organs, muscles, and nervous system by using the famed technique of the Hyuga clan. Gentle fist, the shinobi screamed in pain, thrown back until he crashed into a tree. Yuto followed up instantly, a quick jab to the heart with his fingers, ending the shinobi's life. Gah! The Kumo shinobi groaned weakly, glancing at his killer. I recognize you. You're the jewel of the Hyuga. Yuto watched him dispassionately until the light faded from his eyes. Confirming the enemy was dead, Yuto deactivated his Byakugan and leaned against the tree, breathing heavily. The Byakugan strain, though not as intense as the Sharingan, still took a toll on his brain. From the initial assault led by Tetsuro Sugiura, through the chaotic skirmish and to the one-on-one combats, 10 minutes had passed. Yuto had already killed 3 enemies, including an elite Chunin. Despite his exceptional skills and the title Jewel of the Hyuga, Yuto was only 12. The prolonged battle wore him down. Whew! He panted, taking some soldier pills from his pouch and quickly swallowing them. I can't rest here. If their Jonin comes my way, alone, I'll be done. Muttering to himself, Yuto left the bodies behind and rushed towards the battle sounds ahead. Upon arriving at the battlefield, he carefully observed from the shadows, activating his Byakugan. Tetsuro Sugiura and a Konoha genin stood back to back, surrounded by 5 Kumo shinobis. Fallen bodies littered the ground, including one wearing a Konoha forehead protector. Konoha's forces had dwindled to Yuto Hyuga, Tetsuro Sugiura, and the genin Satu Masato. Kumo had 5 remaining shinobis. Yuto didn't immediately reveal himself. Instead, he stealthily circled around, closing in on the Kumo jonin. Careful and silent, Yuto watched as both sides resumed their clash. Lightning release, ground surge. The Kumo jonin formed hand seals, pressing his hands to the ground. Silver lightning surged out, electrifying the surrounding area. Tetsuro and Satu jumped onto the trees to evade. "Damn it," Yuto muttered from his hiding spot. Sure enough, the Kumo shinobis charged at the Konoha pair as they leapt. The Kumo jonin engaged Tetsuro furiously, while the other 4 attacked Satu. The coordinated assault left Satu grievously injured within seconds. The plan was clear: swiftly eliminate the weaker Konoha shinobi to focus all efforts on Tetsuro. Tetsuro gritted his teeth, unleashing all his chakra in desperate attacks, but the experienced Kumo jonin matched him blow for blow. Satu, outnumbered, was quickly overwhelmed. One Kumo shinobi seized the moment, slashing Satu's left arm clean off with a precise strike. Satu's scream echoed through the forest, filled with terror. Tetsuro's expression darkened, helplessly watching his comrade suffer. The Kumo jonin, sensing victory, allowed himself a moment of elation, slightly lowering his guard. A subtle whistling cut through the air, the sound of a kunai slicing through the atmosphere. In that split second, Yuto's fierce chakra-infused fists struck the Kumo jonin with deadly precision. Yuto had found his opening. Like the Kumo shinobis, Yuto knew that eliminating the key opponent was crucial. If he could take down the jonin, Kumo's forces would crumble. The moment Yuto launched his attack, Tetsuro Sugiura responded instantly. As a seasoned middle-aged jonin, it only took him a moment to understand Yuto's strategy: ignore the surrounded Satu and focus on eliminating the opposing jonin first. Sacrificing a pawn to save the king, it's all about who can defeat their opponent faster. In a flash, the Kumogakure's jonin dodged the kunai thrown by Yuto and, leveraging his natural adult arm span advantage, grabbed Yuto's elbow to halt his offensive. The jonin of Kumogakure, adept in lightning release and taijutsu, posed a significant challenge in close combat for the 12-year-old Yuto. But the Hyuga prodigy showed no fear. Using the Kumo jonin's arm as a pivot, he suspended himself and kicked both feet into the enemy's chest. A tremendous force erupted between them, and though Yuto's bones were not as strong as his opponent's, causing his joints to creak as if they might snap, he persisted. Earth release headhunter jutsu. Suddenly, hands emerged from the ground beneath the Kumo jonin and yanked him underground, leaving only his upper body exposed. Bang! Tetsuro emerged from the ground, and after temporarily immobilizing the enemy, his kunai flashed coldly as it slashed towards the jonin's throat. With his lower body buried and arms entangled by Yuto, the jonin could only use brute force to fling Yuto away and raise his hands to block the kunai. Thud! His palms were pierced and the kunai nailed his hand bones in place. Ah! In a moment of crisis, the Kumogakure's jonin's ferocity was ignited. His robust physique exploded with strength, and like a maddened beast, he tore the kunai from his hands and grabbed Tetsuro's waist with an outstretched arm. He lifted the Konoha jonin and channeled his remaining strength into his hands, which now emitted silver lightning arcs, and slammed Tetsuro into the ground with all his might. Nintai Jutsu, lighting style, Liger bomb. Tetsuro's head hit the ground, creating a spiderweb of cracks through the forest floor and rocks. Coughing up a mouthful of blood, Tetsuro nearly blacked out. Yet, as a jonin, even in severe injury, he managed a counterattack, quickly forming several seals. A thin, high-pressure stream of water shot from Tetsuro's mouth, moving at lightning speed. It pierced the enemy's abdomen, tearing through several trees before dissipating back into water. Water release. Water severing wave. This was Tetsuro's ace technique, his only A-rank jutsu. Konoha's assault continued unabated. Yuto rushed in from behind, taking advantage of the enemy's critical injury to deliver a powerful punch to the back of his head. Chakra exploded with the Hyuga clan's signature gentle fist technique, pulverizing the opponent's brain. The Kumogakure's Jonin groaned and collapsed, dead on the spot. Yuto panted heavily, his sweat evaporating like steam. Tetsuro struggled to rise from the ground, spitting another mouthful of blood. "Tetsuro-sama," Yuto stood beside him. "I'll take the lead from here. Your neck could snap at any moment." "All right. Thank you, Yuto-kun." Tetsuro Sugiura smiled weakly, not arguing. They turned to face the remaining enemies. By then, Konoha's Genin Satu Masato's body had also fallen. Both sides had simultaneously eliminated the ones they were fighting. The remaining Kumogakure shinobis exchanged glances, bracing for the final confrontation. They knew that escape was pointless under the scrutiny of the Byakugan. 30 minutes later. In the dense forest near the border of the Land of Fire, Yuto and Tetsuro walked side by side, staggering. Neither knew medical ninjutsu, so they had to endure the pain as they advanced. They had sustained additional injuries, even from Janins. A dying struggle couldn't be underestimated. However, the outcome was ultimately favorable. Yuto and Tetsuro had annihilated the Kumogakure forces, safeguarding the crucial information. "You are truly remarkable, Yuto-kun," Tetsuro Sugiura suddenly spoke. Battles always brought men closer. Initially, Tetsuro had used Yuto's full name, but now he addressed him more familiarly. "Yuto-kun, I've known of your reputation since our reconnaissance team was formed," Tetsuro mused. "At just 12, you've nearly touched the level of a Jonin, earning the title Jewel of the Hyuga, with immense talent, hard work, intelligence, and a deep sense of honor for your village and family. Seeing you in action, I realize no praise is too high." "Tetsuro-senpai, you flatter me," Yuto replied with a smile, now addressing Tetsuro by his given name. "You bore the brunt of the enemy's force and the Jonin. At the critical moment, you used an A-rank jutsu to heavily injure the enemy. Without you, we'd all be dead, but—" The Hyuga prodigy's voice faltered, his steps slowed, clearly burdened by sorrow. "Sadly, Masato, Reiro, Eiji, they're all gone. Tetsuro sighed but didn't stop to console him. For shinobis, accepting comrades' deaths was inevitable, a part of their job, no, their life. "Yuto-kun, look ahead. You've achieved a great feat, killing enemies, protecting the information. You truly deserve the title Jewel of the Hyuga." "Thank you, Tetsuro-senpai," Yuto replied. "The information was indeed worth our sacrifices." "I'm glad you understand," Tetsuro said, suddenly reaching into his pack and handing a scroll to Hyuga Yuto. "It's fortunate you reminded me. I almost forgot. As protocol dictates, the lead Jonin should carry the intelligence alternately. Though you aren't a Jonin yet, I'm not in the best shape. We should share the responsibility. Making judgments based on the situation is also part of all shinobi's duty." "Yes, Tetsuro-senpai," Yuto's calm, polite voice responded. Tetsuro felt the scroll's weight vanish from his hand, knowing Yuto had taken it. Almost immediately, Tetsuro felt a different sensation. Pain. Excruciating pain. As a Jonin, he instantly understood what had happened. A kunai had been stabbed into his back, severing the spinal cord between the 4th and 5th lumbar vertebrae. "It's an enemy! But the enemy is already—" Before he could comprehend, the young voice spoke again. Still calm, still steady. "Tetsuro-senpai, why are you surprised?" Yuto looked at the kunai, recognition flashing in his eyes as if he understood. "In this situation, I wouldn't use my gentle fist technique. The young Jewel of the Hyuga," his voice as calm as still water, reflecting his unwavering determination as a shinobi. This thought flashed through Tetsuro's mind.